Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I would like to quickly talk about Pradeep. Pradeep brings a very rich experience he started, I know him for a long time. He started with Six Sigma and then he went into strategy. Okay, and he is now leading a strategy uh, transformation for a larger organization. He is very tech savvy, and he will be helping us to understand how AI can apply into the strategy transformations. Pradeep Sharma, please.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khadir, for introducing me. I hope I'm audible and visible to all of you.
You are, yes, yes, please.
Okay, great. So I'll just start off with very quick introduction about myself. Pradeep Sharma, working as a Chief Strategy Officer for a company called Saudi Brothers Commercial Company. It's a family-owned business, a large conglomerate based out of Jeddah. Been there with them from past 7 years. This company have almost 10 companies under it. We work in water desalination, water treatment, hospitality, healthcare, real estate, restaurants. So quite a diversified group. I take care of the group level strategy where we give the direction to all the companies by all what we have just heard since morning. How do we execute and implement a strategy? So that's what my role is there in that organization. Before that, I was a consultant for operational excellence, primarily into Lean Six Sigma. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt and PMP certified. But over the period of time, what happened when there was a lot of buzz going around about AI and everybody was talking about AI. So I went ahead and did a course in IIM Code and become a certified data scientist and AI practitioner. And currently pursuing a course in ISB in Hyderabad for AI for leadership. So I'm just going to share some of my experience, some of my own opinions and thoughts about how can we utilize AI in optimizing strategies. So before we begin talking about the marriage of AI and strategy, I just want to take you through quickly about that. What is an AI? AI, keep it very simple. It is a set of algorithms that perform tasks which require human intelligence. So they are nothing but the equations which you build at the background, and those equations basically you feed the data into them, and they do the task which requires human intelligence. So there are two main broad classifications of AI algorithms. There are two kinds of algorithms. One is called machine learning and another is called deep learning. So AI can be classified into two parts. So if I have to draw a picture, so on top you have AI and then you have machine learning and deep learning, and under that you have data science. So it's like AI is a big circle. Within that big circle, you have machine learning and deep learning, and within that machine learning, deep learning, you have data science. So that's how the relationship between data science, machine learning, and AI comes together. So that's the two different types of AI algorithms. Now, I'll just quickly give you a brief about what does machine learning includes. So in machine learning, you basically have supervised learning, you have unsupervised learning, and you have reinforcement learning. So these are some technical terms. Basically, there are different types of, you could say, statistical equations which are used to build the models. And in deep learning, we are basically talking about neural networks and convolutional neural network and recurrent neural network. I'll give you a case study of each one of them if the time permits, but just to give you a brief about idea about supervised learning. So supervised learning is basically you build an equation where you feed the data to predict something. So let's say I want to predict that how much sales we are going to make in next quarter or next year based on the historical data. So I'm going to use something called, let's say, a regression model or a multiple regression model and build an equation and give that equation to the process owner where they will be able to utilize it to predict the sales and based on that do your planning. So supervised learning is basically for prediction. Unsupervised learning, on the other hand, it does not predict, but it does the classification. So it studies the historical data and classify. So for example, you want to know that what are your peak hours in the whole 24 hours of shift. So let's say you are in a hospital and you want to know that when do I get the maximum number of patients inflow, and accordingly I need to do my manpower planning. So in that case, you will do unsupervised learning where you will feed the data into the system. You will use methods like K-cluster mean or Gaussian method. There are some statistical tools which you will use, and you will classify based on the shift. It will tell you, okay, at this point of a time, you have the maximum inflow. And then you use Python codes to build the models. Reinforcement learning is like it's based on reward and penalty. So I'll give a very layman example of a reinforcement learning. Like when you train a dog and you give a command, and it does, if it performs that command successfully, you give a treat. So and the next time dog, you don't have to give a treat, you just say a command and it will perform the task. The similar way you do it with the AI model. You give a certain command to the model, and if model performs, you give a reward to the word, say yes or no, and based on that, the machine learns by itself. So this is called reinforcement learning. So that's the part of machine learning: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Uh, then you have deep learning. Deep learning, we have neural networks, basically two kinds of neural network: convolutional and recurrent. So whenever you talk about an AI, where you are going to build the models to work around with your speech, voice, images. So let's say you want to give an image to a model, and the model will predict what kind of image it is, and based on that, perform certain tasks. In that case, we do neural networks. So neural networks are basically more of building the AI models for speech, voice, text, and images. So the model is based on that. Whereas convolutional is free unstructured data, whereas recurrent neural networks is something with structured data, or anything which is coming into sequence. If this, and what next, what next, what next. So these are different models which can be built in AI. Now, how do we build and do a marriage between the AI and the strategy? So, like Sheikh Abdul Khadir and previous speakers have told immensely about what exactly is a strategy plan. It's a plan of action designed to achieve specific goals or objectives. It provides framework for making decisions and allocating resources to attain desired outcomes. So if you look at the main components of strategy, so the main components of strategy, you have vision and mission, you have goals and objectives, you have analysis and assessment, you have strategic choices, you have implementation plan, and continuous monitoring of your strategy. So these are the components of strategy which you are. So if you look at AI as a separate pillar and strategy as a separate pillar. So AI as a separate pillar, you have the different kinds of models, and strategy as a separate pillar have different kinds of components into it: vision, mission, goals, objectives. But where they overlap, where we can implement AI into these components of strategy. So in my opinion, and I might be wrong, this is based on my experience. So these are the areas of the strategy where we can implement AI. We can do AI in terms of analysis and assessment section of strategy. We can use AI to make strategic choices. We can use AI to do the implementation planning, and we can use AI to do the continuous monitoring. So these are the cross points between AI and strategy. So let me take you through some of the use cases where in each of these sections, in each of these components, how and when we can use AI. So just to go back to AI, so we have basically prediction, classification, or reinforcement learning, and the other deep learning is about images and voice. So how are we going to use all of these in the different sections of AI? So the first is, let's look at how do we use AI in strategy analysis and assessment. So here you can see we can use AI for the data processing and analysis. Like if you see in the full strategy solution, which Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khadir was presenting, there was one section was analysis and assessment. So there is a assessment analysis is a big part of strategy. To strategize, you have to first analyze. So you can use AI to do the data processing and analysis. You can use AI to automate the data extraction and integration. You can use AI for natural language processing. You can use AI to do the predictive analysis. You can use AI for comparative intelligence. And you can use AI to visualization and decision support. This will help you in strategy analysis and assessment. Coming back to data processing, so you can use AI algorithms. It can efficiently process and analyze a vast amount of data, including structured or unstructured data from various sources. AI can identify patterns, correlations, and relationship with the data in the data, uncovering valuable insight that can inform strategic analysis. AI can help identify customer preference, market trends, competitive landscape, and other critical factors that impact strategic decision making. In terms of automated data extraction, AI, there are a lot of tools which are available which can automatically extract the data from your ERPs and all your vertical solution and integrate with different sources and produce a visual reports for you, which can help you in making your analysis. In terms of natural language processing, so AI can perform, there are a lot of tools which are available which can perform the text analysis. So there's a lot of every organization uses social media on different platforms. There's a customer feedback, there are Google reviews. So how do you bring it all together and do some analysis out of it? So there are a lot of tools which are available which can analyze all the text using natural language processing and give you a report of that, what would be your strategic direction. And of course, you can do predictive analysis, like I gave an example to you. And you can also, using AI tools, you can look at your competition, what your competition is doing. The AI tools can go to web, to social media platforms, to the news, to reports, and collect the intelligence about your competition and present analysis to you. And then, of course, you can do visualization and decision support. There are a lot of tools available for that. So these are some of the use cases where AI can be used in analysis and assessment. In case of AI in strategic choices, AI can be utilized in strategic decision making to provide valuable insight, optimize resource allocation, and enhance the selection of optimal strategic choices. You can do data-driven decision making, you can do predictive analysis, you can do optimization and simulation, you can do market and competition analysis, you can do risk assessment and mitigation, you can have decision support system, and personalization recommendation. So basically in personalized recommendation, you can leverage customer data and preferences to provide personalized recommendation for our strategic choices. You can analyze customer behavior, their purchase history, their demographic information, and build an algorithm to generate tailored recommendations, such as product offering or the marketing strategies or customer segmentation approaches. How are you going to segment your current customers? Of course, most of it, but in terms of optimization and simulation, this is where you can also do scenario analysis. I was hearing about the talk about scenario analysis. So you can use AI tool wherein you can build multiple scenarios and see that what a particular strategic choice will lead to what kind of outcome. So there are a lot of tools which are available for that. So in terms of strategy implementation, again, you can use a lot of tools for implementation, especially for resource optimization. You can analyze the data on resource availability, constraints, and requirement to optimize resource allocation and implement it during the implementation phase. You can consider the factors such as budget, personal equipment, timelines, and AI can generate optimized resource allocation plans to maximize efficiency and minimize the waste. You can also use AI in project management and scheduling. I'm sure which Mr. Sheikh Abdul Khadir must have implemented in his software solution which he provided. So you can have AI-powered project management tools which can assist you in planning and scheduling tasks, milestones, and dependencies. But you can analyze the historical project schedules and allocate resource and identify potential bottlenecks using AI tools. And you can also use AI for intelligent process automation. You can automate a lot of your repetitive tasks using robotic process automation. And then you can also perform monitoring and KPI tracking. You can also do the decision support. and again, predictive analysis for risk management, and adaptive planning, which means that when a particular plan is not going as per the plan, then AI can suggest you an alternate. So you can change your strategy implementation plan accordingly. Now, in terms of strategic financial analysis. Okay, great. I will give some use cases and examples for the problem statement and the different kinds of tools which we use there. Okay, so in terms of continuous monitoring, AI, there are tools which can help you in doing the real-time data analysis. And while doing the real-time data analysis, if there is any anomaly, it can detect by itself and trigger an action. It can do sentiment analysis. It can study your customer feedback, reviews, Google reviews, and provide your sentiment analysis. They can track your competition, and of course, look at your KPIs, and predictive analysis and decision support. So these are some of the use cases which can be used in strategy using AI. Let me show you some of the case projects which we did using AI. So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you some examples which we used. I'll give you a problem statement, and then I'll tell you that what is the AI solution which we implemented. So like unsupervised learning, we said there is a K clustering mean and Gaussian mixture model. So here we have a restaurant in Jeddah, Al Nakhil. So the problem statement was that how do we develop a customized campaign for our customers in our restaurant business? The objective is to attract more young customers to the restaurant. So there is a tool in AI called as K-mean cluster. We use it to segment the data based on the invoice amount and segment them based on the age groups, and then identify best-selling dishes among the age groups. Based on that, we can develop the age group specific marketing campaign to attract a particular segment of the customers. So that's how we can use, let's say, K clustering mean. Now, for example, in our healthcare business, we have polyclinics. We wanted to see how can we allocate the staff based on when we get the maximum influx of the patient. So here we use Gaussian mixture method, which is based on Gaussian curve or a normal curve. So here we collect the data of patient, walk into the clinics on hourly basis, and use GMM method to understand the distribution or pattern of the data during different interval of the day, and categorize them based on the shift. And based on the distribution of the pattern, we can identify lows and peaks on the number of patients, accordingly adjust our staffing plan. So like this, for example, supervised learning, we have linear logistic regression, we have tree-based algorithms, which called decision tree analysis. So there are different use cases which we have implemented in different. So we have simple neural network, reinforcement learning, and then we have neural networks. So just to give you a glimpse of that, what are the different projects which we are working. So it's not, see, a lot of people think about AI usually that you need to have, Python knowledge, or you need to have. So there are two main components of having a knowledge of AI. First of all, you need to have a good statistical background to understand the AI, and then how can you use those statistical models to build in Python or in R or in any other software. So as managers, you don't have to be an expert in statistics or expert in Python. It's just that you need to be aware of what are the different tools in AI and how can you implement and to solve a business case. So we don't have to be expert in Python to build an AI model. You can hire people for that. But you should know that what model will fit in where. So as we all being as managers, we need to understand what is the problem we are trying to solve and what AI solution will fit into that. Okay. Right. So, but there are a lot of challenges when we are implementing the AI. It doesn't come very easily. There are like you said that strategy is very complex. Even AI is very complex. It's not that easy to implement AI. So some of the challenges which we face is basically, first of all, is the data quality and availability. Okay, so AI relies heavily on data and quality of the data, not just the availability, but even the quality of the data. Like you said, garbage in, garbage out. So if you put the wrong data into the AI model, definitely the accuracy and effectiveness of the algorithms will be very low. So you have to make sure that your data is reliable and always available. So this is where you need to do a lot of integration with your existing systems. Is ChatGPT okay? I'll answer this question. Yes, ChatGPT is capable of doing the analysis, right? Interpretability and explainability. Now there are like I said, I gave you an example of a very simple tool like K-cluster mean or a Gaussian method to a very complex tool like recurrent neural network. Now, if I go and build a neural network where a simple problem will not be able to interpret the results and you're not even able to explain. So we have to be very careful that we don't use, let's say, a bazooka to shoot a fly. So we have to be very careful what kind of a tool we are using. It should be easily interpretable and explainable. Then one of the main challenge which AI faces is the human expertise and judgment. So AI, it can provide you the valuable insight, but it should not replace human expertise and judgment. Study decisions, it requires basically a deep understanding of business context, industry dynamics, and you have to consider the other nuisance as well. And then, so AI cannot fulfill all the gaps. So human involvement is necessary to interpret AI generated insights. Because at the end of the day, AI will give you a model, will give you a statistical equation. How you're going to interpret it is you need a human expertise and judgment for that. And so, and moreover, in AI, we have a problem with ethical and bias consideration. So what happens in AI, the process, what we do is we get, let's say, data, a large amount of data. We divide the data into two parts. One we call as a test data and then as a training data. So we divide the data, training and test. So we perform the model on a training data, we train the data, and then when we get the model, get the equation, we apply it on our test data. We have to be very careful when you are dividing the data between test data and train data, because we might have a bias in the training data. So it's very, very important to understand that it has to be random and have to use scientific method to divide the data between test and train. Otherwise, we'll have a biasness in the model. And even AI, the other challenge, we have a limited contextual understanding. So algorithms typically lack contextual understanding. It's beyond the data that they are trained to. So they may struggle to comprehend complex business context, strategic goals, and interpret abstract concepts. So these limitations can affect the ability of AI to provide nuisance and context-specific insights. So again, human intervention is required to bridge this gap. The other thing is, other challenge in AI, we rely heavily on historical data. So whenever we build a model, we always use the historical data, let's say a quarter old or let's say 6 months old data. And based on that, we build the model to predict in the future. But what happens is in today's day, every day your business processes are changing, your dynamics are changing. So you have to keep on updating your model so that it reflects the current situation, not the historical. So this is where we have something called reinforcement learning, where once we use the data to build a model, that model should be capable itself to get the data of the real-time data and rerun the analysis by itself, and that's how it learns by itself. So this is by machine learning; it learns by itself. So we have to build the model in a way that it learns by itself, implementing the real-time data. The other problems are implementation and integration challenges, and there has to be a continuous learning and adoption in terms of strategy management. So these are the ways by which you can see some of the areas where your strategy and AI can be integrated and utilized to optimize your strategy. So conclusion, the future of AI in optimizing strategy, as AI continues to evolve, its role in strategy optimization will become increasingly vital, offering organizations unprecedented opportunities for success. So that's it for me on my side. So, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take questions.
Yeah, I think there are some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Deep, if you are able to share the questions. Okay, so basically, one question is strategy is a complex construct of hypothesis, right?
Yes.
Basically, strategy formulation. Okay, so now
Yeah.
there is a confusion that AI will do everything nowadays. Okay, so AI will do everything, and then AI even formulate your strategies. Okay, so which is not the case. So you
Which is
should.
not the case. This is where I said, mention in the challenges that there has to be a human intervention into it. AI cannot do everything. So if you look at the context, the components of AI, there are vision, mission, goals, objectives. So AI cannot be implemented in all the components. It can be implemented only where there is a data related issues.
Perfect. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
And of course, there has to be human intervention to understand the overall business context.
So,
But it can help you speed up the process.
so any idea how these AI tools can be used in strategic financial analysis?
Yeah. So strategic financial analysis, you can do a lot of predictive analysis. So you can do, for example, you want to predict that if I like a scenario analysis. So if I change the uh, product or I do a particular offering, what is the impact on my EBITDA, or what will be the impact on my net profit? You can look at your past EBITDA or your revenue numbers and predict that what is going to be my next revenue model in next year. So in financial data, you can do a lot of predictive analysis by using tools like regression. So regression is something which you use for prediction. So it's all about data. Data can be financial data or non-financial data. As long as you have a data, you can apply AI tools and do classification or prediction or generation.
So at the end of the day, the decision remains with the individual. So use the data, use
Yes.
the AI tools, how to give the insights
Yes.
and all.
So like I said, you have data. On data, you have machine learning. On top of machine learning, you have AI. So data is the core component of the AI.
Perfect. So another question is, can AI be used to run predictive simulations for novel
Yes.
projects or new
Yes.
projects? Okay.
For new?
New novel projects or new entities. So
Okay.
let us say you don't have data. Okay. Yeah.
No. AI highly relies on data. So you have to first train the machine. How do you train the machine? By giving the old data. So for example, you are running a new project. Let's say you're building a new hospital. But then it's not the first time that someone has built a hospital. So there is a data available of another constructions of the hospital. You can use the data of previous projects to predict for the new project. But if it's something novel, totally no one has done this before, then of course AI cannot do it.
Perfect. Another question, Pradeep. Now ChatGPT is very prevalent and everybody is using it, and for good or bad, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this ChatGPT is capable of doing strategy analysis. That's a question.
Okay. If you feed the data into, let's say you put an Excel and you upload the data in Excel into ChatGPT and ask certain questions, it can perform certain kind of analysis. Yes, it can, but it cannot build a model for you. For example, you want to build a model of your own in Python so that you can build use it for future. No, that might not be able to. I've tried it; it doesn't work very well, but it does give it a try. But yes, ChatGPT can do data analysis for sure, which can be used in strategy.
Yeah. Any more questions? We have a few more minutes. So if there is any questions, Pradeep, specific to strategy. Okay. So where can we really, I mean, like from practical point of view, one or two areas where the AI can be applied? Okay, just on top of your mind.
Yes, on top of mind. So first of all to make a strategic decision, you need to have a data in hand. You need to analyze the data to make the strategic decision. This is where AI can help you in doing those strategic analysis to make decisions. That's one. Secondly, you can use AI tools in implementation. You can have AI tools which can help you in doing your project management and your resource allocation.
Perfect.
Thirdly, you can use your AI in monitoring your strategy using, let's say, your dashboards, and it can automatically run the analysis by itself and identify the anomalies and raise a trigger that you need to take some intervention over there. So these are top
Yeah.
three areas where AI can be used in strategy.
Yeah, even in the risk management, maybe in the risk
Absolutely.
management also, maybe it can be used.
Yes, it
Yeah.
can be. It can be.
Fantastic. So thank you, Pradeep, for joining us. Very nice insights in AI. Always we learn something new whenever we talk to you. Okay.
Thank you.
So keep posting the questions. If there is anything, the Pradeep will be happy to answer offline. Okay. So we will coordinate. Okay, so thank you, Pradeep. Thank you for a wonderful
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you very much.